Hello, good morning. Good
Hello.
morning? No, good afternoon.
Yes. So hello, Stasiu.
I can't believe I'm doing this again. And you're doing it for the first time, I think.
Yeah, for the first time ever in a podcast and in English. So that's a huge challenge for me.
And for me too. We've been just talking for this whole time that we shouldn't be so stressed anymore, but we still are.
Unfortunately, yes.
So what about now? We have been avoiding starting this podcast for about 1 hour, drinking coffee, iced coffee, and chatting about healthy lifestyle. And what about now? Are you feeling a bit better, Aneta, or?
No, I don't feel better, but I hope it will change during our conversation.
Me too. And I am very surprised that every time I start this podcast, the level of stress so far hasn't been any easier or easier to cope with, but I don't care because it's supposed to be imperfect. And first of all, I should introduce you. So this is Aneta Makselan, one of my favorite people in this world.
Oh my God.
We've been talking for many months about diet and the connection between our stomach and the mind, because Aneta is a psychodietitian and a psychologist.
Yeah, that's true. Psychologist was my first university degree, and I also used to work in HR department. But I was always interested in dietitian at all. So that was the time when I decided, okay, I want to go into this and make it together. Yeah, so psychology and dietitian. So now I'm a psychodietitian.
And yes, exactly. These two words came together, and this will be one of our, I think, main topics to discuss today. Why do we need both and not just the dietetics part in it? But I wanted to start with something easier and just say, what about, I bought this bar of chocolate today. It's supposed to be healthy, but chocolate usually is not the healthiest choice. So what about a person like me who, for example, always eats very healthy food? For example, these cucumbers and carrots, and we have pełna dobra hummus here, hummus full of goodness. This is not any type of decoration. This is the normal type of snack I always eat. But what would you say to a person who tries to eat healthily, but every now and then they buy a big bar of chocolate and unhealthy type of popcorn, and they just eat it in one evening while looking at their dirty pile of laundry?
Okay, so...
Am I a lost case?
No, absolutely no. There is a hope for you. Especially that generally, as you've mentioned, you have very healthy habits, in your daily life. And that situation you've described, I think it's very human experience. So not only and it's not kind of a failure that you eat chocolate from time to time. Because when we think about our lifestyle, healthy lifestyle, and we want that lifestyle to be with us for the next 20 years, and not for just 1 month, for example, it's normal to have healthy snacks, but also chocolate from time to time. Because chocolate can give us pleasure, for example, and when we really like chocolate, it can be the part of healthy diet. Of course, it shouldn't be like I eat chocolate every day and this is, the base of my eating. But we can combine all that things into one healthy diet pattern.
Okay, so thank you for this answer. I would like to maybe go a little bit deeper into the fact why we are meeting today. So Aneta and we met for the first time in a private school, candid. It was many years ago,
Yes.
I think, and then
before COVID, I think.
Really?
Or maybe
a little bit after.
Or maybe
I
a
think.
little bit after, yes.
Yes, and then we didn't speak for quite a few years, and last year we somehow got back to talking again.
Yes. I decided that I really need some English lessons to improve my English and to feel more self-confident speaking English. Yeah.
Okay, and we got into this habit, because I think there will be a lot about habits today during our conversation. We got into this habit of going very deeply into dietics and psychodietetics, and from my point of view, I started, waiting for each lesson with you, and I love preparing for these lessons as well. I dig really deep into the, different lifestyles and different types of diet around the world. Recently, we've been I think the last diet we discussed was the Nordic diet.
Yes, that's true. Not very popular, but still with very good scientific evidence, that this is good diet. Almost so good like Mediterranean diet.
Almost as good, yes, exactly. Or maybe equally good, but with different type of ingredients or different type of food they use, because of the local food available in this part of Europe. And yes, and I think what keeps striking me during our lessons is how, in some way, how boring a healthy diet is. That there is nothing. No, the food doesn't have to be boring, but the solution to eat healthily is boring. It's not the magic pill which you get from Brothers Rodzeń or someone like that. It's just a set of healthy habits without exaggerating any of them, and without eating 1 kilogram of bacon every morning, for example.
Yes. As you said, it's boring, and we generally, and our brain looks for some, magical solution. We want to do something very simple and have results very quickly. And healthy diet is boring, and we need to continue that day by day, by day. So it's not very exciting. And the results are long term. We can't see the results just right now, usually.
Yes, but it's what is absolutely fascinating is that the solution is boring. Maybe the way we talk about healthy diet, boring might not be the right word, but it's too simple. Or I would say this, but the actual result of following this diet is absolutely magnificent, like and so tasty. Yes, like for example, now I have to make a confession. I bought this chocolate today because of this podcast. I don't buy chocolate, but my problem is rather Big Mac than chocolate.
Okay.
Yes, so every now and then, I think in all the McDonald's in Bielsko, they know me very well, because sometimes I go to McDonald's and buy a huge unhealthy burger with a ton of unsaturated fats. But yes, what I wanted to say is that the healthy diet is maybe boring when you talk about it, but when you prepare some Mediterranean salad and you have the fresh ingredients and you chop the onion and then add some paprika to it and spices or Italian spices, it stops being boring altogether. Well, what would you say? Isn't it amazing to smell it, to smell the fresh food instead of tons of ultra-processed plastic-packed food from Biedronka?
Yeah, for me it is, of course. And I think the main quote here is that healthy diet can be tasty. should be tasty, I would say, even, yeah, and should be also satisfying for us, because I think many people have that thought in their head that healthy diet is not tasty, yeah, and that's not true.
Okay, yes, and I definitely can confirm this when I'm preparing my favorite salad with apple vinegar, and it's sort of Mediterranean, and feta cheese, and lots of olive oil, extra virgin, of course, etc. I usually turn on Spanish or Italian music, and all of my senses and my whole being is in this food, and the process of preparing it is as joyful as the process of eating it later, right?
And that's great.
Do you have this kind of food in your life which makes you satisfied even when you're making it rather than eating it only?
That's a good question, because I was never thinking about that. But I think I have similar things also with some salads, but with pasta.
Ooh,
because
yummy.
I really like pasta. And it's not like good pasta have to be full of fat. Yeah, you can prepare pasta which is really healthy, tasty, and can be part of your daily diet, I would say.
Exactly, and pasta is Italiano, and in Italy, Italy is full of colors, full of flavors, full of amazing spices like oregano, and well, okay, what about pizza then? Should we sometimes have a bite of pizza, or?
We can. It's maybe not we should, but if we like, we can. Yeah, but again, not every day. Yeah, but sometimes, why not? Yeah.
And now I want to go back to this question I wanted to create a few minutes ago, but I diverted. So with this Big Mac, the world of dietetics, in my view, is very similar to the world of learning a language. And because we know each other from learning a language and speaking English together, it's like black and white very often for people. So you have to eat completely clean,
Yes.
or you are a failure because you went to McDonald's. And now Big Mac is a conscious choice for me, which makes me happy every now and then. Like you mentioned, the role of chocolate can lift you up every now and then, and it's not gonna ruin your whole diet. So why do people have this in mind that it must be either perfect or we shouldn't bother at all? And if we eat one Big Mac or one bar of chocolate in the evening, it's time to go back to the old ways and give up the healthy lifestyle.
So it's difficult to answer why people have that, black and white thinking. Sometimes because of some previous diets, for example. But generally, it's not a good approach. And in psychodietetics, we usually said that flexibility is better than perfection. Yeah, and you can't follow very strict rules like eat only this and not eat something else at all for many months and years. Yeah, and that perfection is never, I would say, never good approach. Of course, sometimes when you have some disease and you have to follow that strict rules, it's okay. Yeah, it's for some specific time, for example. That's another case. Yeah, but for the healthy people, it's better to be more flexible. Yeah, and because sometimes you have a bad day. Yeah, you don't have time to prepare some ideal meal, and it's good to know what else I can choose, what I can prepare, what can be good enough today for me. Yeah, so it's not about generally in psychology and psychodietetics, it's not about talking about ideal meals, but rather that good enough meals. Yeah, and that kind of meals which also fit to your life, your lifestyle, time you have. Yeah, because for example, when I work with some mothers, because generally a big group of my clients are women, not only, but biggest part, and there are a lot of mothers. Yeah, so when they tell me they have 2 kids or 3 kids or some very small kids, I know they don't have time to prepare something very special. And they don't have opportunity to be perfect, and it's okay, and we can find some solutions which will be okay for them. Yeah, and you talked also about that Big Mac, and it also can be a part of that healthy diet. Yeah, especially when every day you eat a lot of vegetables. Yeah, you eat some whole grain bread, for example. Yeah, you eat some good protein. Yeah, your diet is healthy, so you can also eat that burger from time to time. Yeah, and sometimes it's also good to see that change. Yeah, so for example, when there is somebody who used to eat a burger every day, and now he does it only once a week or once a month, it's good. Yeah, it's a huge step for that person. Yeah, so as usually in psychology, it depends. Yeah, and I think this is part of my approach. Yeah, to be very understanding and having that individual approach. Yeah, for my clients.
Is it about awareness? Because everything you've said now, it's like you go into your soul and somehow you make a plan, you make a decision how to recreate your life around your diet and your healthy habits. Because I remember during one of our lessons we were talking about it. It's different to, for example, when you're driving back from work and there was a stressful situation and you're driving and I'm like, I just need this Big Mac and I'm gonna buy Big Mac and Wieś Mac today and stuff it into my, intestines or whatever. It's different than thinking, today is a good day for a Big Mac. I've been, eating. And I want to ask you, there will be 2 questions at the same time. Cheat day. I don't like this name because it's, if you make conscious choices about your diet, in my opinion, eating a big bowl of ice cream every now and then, which is planned into your lifestyle, it's not a cheat day. It's still normal part of the healthy diet and healthy lifestyle, and a little bit of sugar and some processed or ultra processed ingredients in the ice cream is not going to kill you. Yes.
Yeah, and it's not going to ruin your life. Yeah, like a healthy salad, but only one healthy salad doesn't make you healthy at all. Yeah.
Yes.
But you've mentioned something very important. So awareness. Yeah, and I think that's the clue. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the very important part of my work, because usually we are acting like action reaction. Yeah, so I see chocolate, I eat chocolate.
Yeah, baby.
Without thinking, and my role very often is to turn on that awareness in my clients. Yeah, so okay, I see chocolate and I start to think, do I really want to eat that chocolate? Why I want to eat that chocolate? Yeah, maybe I need something else, not chocolate, but a little bit of rest or talking to somebody else. Yeah, or maybe having some other pleasure in my life, or just taking a break. Yeah, what this is about. Yeah, and this is that part of being aware of behavior. And I think this is that part why we need psychologists when we talk about diet. Yeah, because I think many people today, they have knowledge. They know I should eat more vegetables, not eat maybe so many sweets, eating some protein, but they can't do this. Yes, so that's the issue with behavior, and behavior, it's rather psychology. Yeah, so this is why we need psychologists here.
Or they find themselves in a completely new problem because they go on to the other end of this drama because now we have this some kind of trend or fashion to make the diet perfect. So as we said in the beginning, it must be perfect or nothing. And people start to get stressed about eating healthily. If you don't have this awareness that you are getting into this kind of loop, like never-ending loop, that oh my God, I ate a bar, not a bar, a tiny piece of chocolate, and now my life is ruined, and I need to eat only cucumbers now with hummus, for example, for a week to even it out. And this can also be some kind of psychological issue connected with some kind of sometimes even disorders, right?
Yeah, and we call this in psychology vicious circle. Yeah, dietary vicious circle, we can say. So it starts with that good intention usually. Yeah, so I will eat better, but usually that better is perfect. So I have some very strict rules, and in the beginning, usually it's easy to follow that rules because people are very motivated at the beginning and they see some results, because it's usually a huge change, and they feel okay. But after a few weeks or months, life happens, so they get stressed, they have no time, I don't know, kid is sick, for example.
And you didn't sleep half throughout the night.
And there is no time to prepare that perfect food. And this is where I need to eat something else. And what usually in that case, it's the effect we call in psychology, what the hell effect, So, so when I ate something that was not the part of my plan, so now everything is ruined, and that there is no sense to eat healthily any longer, And I'm coming back to my previous habits, for example,
which happens very often in January, yes, when half of the world has a New Year's Eve resolution, and the problem, I think, in any type of change in life is not about revolutionary change. It's about creating habits which can last. And in January, I've been going to the gym now for almost 2 years, and I'll never forget the beginning of January 2020. What have we got? 2026. The beginning of January 2025. I went into the changing room, and all these people in the gym were using some very bad Polish words and saying, oh, the stupid people who want to change their life will now will come to the gym and take all of our lockers, and it will not be possible to do normal exercise. And the other guy said, but it's only going to be 2 weeks, so don't worry. I usually don't even go to the gym for the first 2 weeks in January to avoid the crowd. And then when they lose the motivation, I come back. So does it happen? Do you have clients with this problem, that they have this first emotional, exciting moment? Yes, I want a change, and then it falls apart.
Of course, especially when our goals are not realistic, yeah. And it's the same with exercise and also with some diet, new diet habits. But with exercise, it's even easier to explain. Yeah, so you have very demanding goals. Yeah, so I will go to the gym 3 times a week for an hour. Yeah, but before that, I do nothing. Yeah, I did nothing, and it's almost impossible. Yeah, so it would be better to set some maybe smaller goals but more realistic. Yeah, so I will go to the gym once a week, or I will go for a walk for even 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah, because when we talk about exercise, physical exercise, and it is also part of my work, yeah, to making that relation with physical activity more normal for my clients. We set that kind of goals because it's better to do this regularly than to do this, perfect, but only for a week or 2 weeks.
Yes, and I think I mentioned this book in every episode of this podcast, Atomic Habits. I think this book explains it in the best and easiest possible way. To create a good, healthy, and long-lasting habit, you need to make it easy.
Yes.
And you need to make it fun. And I think there are 4 different steps about creating habits in this book. But I think the biggest problem is this first moment when we want a revolutionary change and it swallows us up. It's too hard when the kid is sick, when we have marriage problems, or when we have financial problems, or something's going on at work. This is the moment when it's not easy, it will not last. And the final result is that we are back to where we were just a few weeks before, like the guys from the gym. Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes I also explain that to my clients that it's not like you have only one path to your goal. You can have different paths for different days. Yeah. So sometimes it will be really minimum plan. Yeah, and sometimes it will be everything. It will be almost perfect. Yeah. But you have to find that perfect solution for today.
Okay, so let's get into this psycho which goes in front of the dietitian word. So psychodietitian, many people, when I mention to them that I've got lessons with such a great person as you, and I say you're a psychodietitian, and they say, psycho what? Why do you need this psycho? And maybe... So in the way I see it now, once since we've started talking about it many months ago, is that a dietitian can tell you what to do, and a psychodietitian can help you find the answer to the question how to do it.
Yes.
Not only what to do.
Yes, that's the first point, how to do it. So how you can change your behavior. And the next thing is, as you've mentioned, dietitians tell you what to do, what to eat. And psychologist, for example, will tell you why you eat in that way, for example, yeah? So instead of asking, why did you eat that chocolate? I would ask, what kind of day did you have? Yeah, for example.
Nice. I like this. So it's this magical connection between your mind and your stomach, which brings me to another question. So let's okay, a very short extra piece of information I wanted to share with you today. Why do people not eat healthily? It's not only about habits and not only about dietetics and psychology, but one of the huge problems is the availability and the cost of healthy eating. For example, this chocolate, how much would you pay for a normal Wawel chocolate, like normal chocolate?
I don't know really.
6-7 złotych. I
Probably
checked
something
today.
like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
this chocolate with no sugar, it has in 100 grams, it has the actual amount of sugar is 5.4. So for me, who has, let's say, a kind of pre-diabetic symptoms, it's always a better choice, even though it has sweeteners and some crap in it anyway. That's why I rather don't eat chocolate at all. But this cost me 15 złotych today.
Oh, really?
15, yes. And when I saw this price, I'm not buying it for just one podcast. It's too much money. But I wanted to show this. Come on, why is healthy eating so expensive? Or ketchup with less sugar and a little bit more of vinegar in it to balance out the flavor. Why is it 3 zloty more expensive than normal ketchup? Why? Is that not a big obstacle in eating healthily?
Can be, but it's not like when you want to eat healthy, you need to buy that kind of chocolate.
That's true.
Because, but I know it's not always so cheap, to eat good. That's very good thought here. But I can see another obstacle, and for me it's the bigger one. Generally, our environment, because we have food on every corner, like in frog shops.
Okay, now I get it. Or food trucks everywhere.
So you can eat everything almost every moment.
Instantly.
Instantly.
Hot dog. And it's there.
I think that's the bigger obstacle.
Okay.
And this is why we really need to turn on our awareness, because without this it's very difficult.
Okay, but again, this is to do with the availability of crappy food. I'm sorry to use strong words like this, but everywhere I go, if it's a frog, żabka, or if it's this one really gets on my nerves, all sorts of soft play centers, the places you go to with children, there is nothing healthy you can buy there. There are only sweets and carbs. I usually have to sneak in with a little bag of food, to these places, because of course there are big posters. You are not allowed to eat your own food. So I have with me, I swear to you, I travel with carrots and cucumbers and my own hummus. And I have this tiny little bag, secret bag. And I eat it there because they cannot offer me anything healthy. And this is a big obstacle as well, that it's not about that food is everywhere, but the unhealthy food is everywhere. Healthy food is nowhere to find.
It's not always true, because even when you go to frog shop, you can find something healthy. Almonds, for example.
But sometimes you need some dinner type of food.
Yes, but in soft place, that's a very good conclusion, because it's a place when should be some healthy snacks. It's place for kids.
Lollipop.
And I know it's a huge challenge to find something good in that kind of places.
So again, it is one of the biggest factor creating our habits, and I must refer again to the Atomic Habits book. In one of the companies, the author of the book describes this situation that they were trying to get the workers to drink more water because they had headaches. It was some kind of big corporation, I don't remember. And they did a lot of work around this. They were doing like some workshops about how good water is, like an email with reminders about drinking water. And there were no significant or visible results in the change of the way people drank water, and for example only coffee and tea with lots of caffeine. What helped? they put more water dispensers around the offices. And then people say, oh, water, okay, I'll have some water. Like I put this water here today for us as well, and I didn't put Coke. So obviously we're gonna drink water and not Coke. So
Yes.
should we, how can we live in this environment where everywhere we go, to a food truck or Biedronka or Żabka or Lidl, the first things on our eye level are usually unhealthy type of diet. For example, at the every time I pay for my shopping, including today when I was buying the carrots, the lady said, would you like some Prince Polo, or maybe you would like some biscuits, it's 50% off. And I wanted to say, just shut the up, yes, and don't offer me sweets. And I told this lady, please, can you not offer me sweets? I will be here tomorrow, please don't offer me sweets. And so how can we, survive in this kind of environment?
So for sure we can't change that environment. So what we can do, it's making good decisions, and generally making decisions. And for example, when we go for shopping, it's good to eat something before. So
Chocolate.
sometimes it would be better choice to eat even that chocolate than to go for shopping being hungry.
Definitely.
Because you will buy so many things you really don't need to buy.
Absolutely, yes. So that's a good one. But for people who are not so interested in diet or don't have the privilege to talk with you once per week, like me, they may be really lost, like they are at the till, and this moment of action and reaction you mentioned, someone says, today ptasie mleczko is for 10 złotych instead of 30. So there is this reaction, okay, I don't care, let's buy it because I'm gonna save 20 złotych. It's not true. And I'm sorry, Wedel, but ptasie mleczko is not the best choice as well for us. So, what can we do to put a stick between the action and reaction and find this moment in our head to think about the reaction and not buy this ptasie mleczko, for example?
So, for example, the easiest tool is to give ourselves 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, so I will wait 5 minutes or 10 minutes and I will see what will happen. Because it's very common that after that 10 minutes you will forget that you wanted to buy that ptasie mleczko.
Okay. So you just say to the people behind you in the queue, excuse me, I need 10 minutes, please wait. No, but I know what you mean. It's just it's just a matter of not doing something immediately, but giving yourself time off. If I will take my shopping to the car, and if I still need this chocolate, I will come back.
I can always come back. It's not like it's forbidden for me, because generally, having that labels, I can do this, eat this, but not this, and making some food forbidden, it's not good for our psychological health and also for our healthy diet. So it's not you can't buy it or eat this. It's rather making that space.
Okay, and then making a conscious choice. Okay, let's buy this ptasie mleczko. It will be in my cupboard and I will eat one per day, for example.
Because after that 10 minutes, sometimes you decide that, okay, I need this. It's food. I want to eat this, and there is only one solution. But sometimes you can have some different conclusions, like, okay, I don't really need ptasie mleczko, but I need a moment for me. Like I need to rest, for example.
Okay.
And this is my real need, not that ptasie mleczko or something else.
You have mentioned it a couple of times now, that maybe behind the need of eating chocolate or something sweet, for example, there may be a different need, and it may have nothing to do with your hunger, yes, with the desire to eat food. And which brings me to my next question. I will hold this chocolate again.
Oh my
My
God.
favorite sitcom of all is Friends. And in Friends, there is an episode where Monica is a lady who historically had a lot of problems with unhealthy eating habits, and she was overweight as well, etc. Then now the Friends sitcom is criticized for body shaming and jokes about being fat and stuff like that. I don't care. I still love it. But anyway, in one of the episodes, Phoebe starts dating a psychologist. And he tries to analyze all of the friends like Ross, Chandler, etc. And Monica, when she was angry at some point in this episode, she started eating cookies. And this psychologist came to Monica and said, remember, they are just cookies. They are not love. And of course,
That's true.
it's true. But is it really possible? Is it not exaggerated that this bar of chocolate can represent, for example, some longing to meet with my friends? And is it not some crazy story made up by psychologists that we are, replacing friendships with chocolate because we have no friends, for example?
I think it's not a crazy story. I think it's a real story. Yeah? And I can see that when I work with my clients. Yeah? And of course, sometimes in the beginning, they are not aware of that. Why am I eating? Yeah. And this is what we do together. Yeah. So we digging and looking for that reasons. And sometimes it is that need to talk to somebody, but I don't have, for example, any friends because I'm still a single and my friends have families and they don't have time for me, for example. Yeah.
Okay.
Or sometimes people eat because they are bored. Yeah. So generally they tell, okay, I don't have time for anything, but in the evening I eat because I don't know what else should I do. Yeah. Or there is also some other thing. Very often there is that thought that I deserve that. I had so difficult day, so many decisions I've made, so now I deserve to eat that chocolate or something else. Yeah. So that reasons can be very how to call that, maybe
they can differ a lot.
They can
That
differ.
they are very diverse. Okay.
Yes, and what's very common when I talk with mothers is when my kids go to sleep
finally.
and I have finally the moment for me when it's quiet, that's time to eat something. Yeah? And it's not about hunger.
I used
it's
to
about
do it. Oh.
head hunger, I would say.
Yeah, I used to do it all the time, every day when I was much bigger. I mean, especially in the tummy area. And I used to, when my children fell asleep, I was knackered, like absolutely, completely, totally exhausted. And I would bring to my bed like a selection of healthy and unhealthy foods. These are my genuine, real snacks now. So when I'm watching a movie, I sometimes eat popcorn, but the main snack is cucumbers and carrots with hummus. But in the past, I used to bring to my bed a lot of chocolate, some cake, crisps, usually very unhealthy crisps like Pringles, for example. Maybe pistachios, but salty and roasted, which is not the best type of nuts you can eat, but still healthier than crisps.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was all about rewarding myself for a horribly difficult day.
Yeah.
I wasn't hungry. I had just eaten supper before putting my kids to bed.
Yeah. And this is one of function food has, yeah, so that rewarding function, yeah. And but very often people are not aware of that, why they are eating, yeah, for example.
So I wasn't aware at all. I had to go through a revolution, and we I didn't mention that the fact that sometimes a healthy diet doesn't start with healthy eating. It starts with a different habit. Yes, that it was in one of the books about habits I read, but I don't remember the title. When the guy says that there is this one initial habit which starts the vicious circle of more healthy habits. And you also need some trigger. Yes, in my case it was a very difficult trigger because it was the death of my parents, and then this realization that I was getting into depression, and I ran to the gym like a headless chicken, and I started exercising. And then when I was eating all these snacks in the evening after putting the kids to bed, something wasn't adding up. I was like, well, I'm going to this gym and now I'm damaging this whole point of getting healthier by this diet. So I started reading about diet, and I got into I found the two books. One was Ultra Processed People, Ultra Przetworzeni Ludzie, and the other one was by what was her name? Glucose Goddess. Do you know the Glukozowa Rewolucja? Glucose Revolution. And this was a real revolution in my life. And my habits changed overnight, to be honest. And I did feel an enormous impact, positive impact on my life. Because in the beginning of the conversation, you mentioned that sometimes you don't see the results, but sometimes you do. When you make a revolutionary change which keeps you happy, you can go on and see a completely new life ahead of you.
Yes, of course it's possible, yeah, maybe not for everyone, but with that result there is also some other case, yeah, because we very often want to see that results in our body, for example. But I always tell my clients, it's not only about your body, yeah, because you should find also some results in your mind, yeah. So for example, you start thinking about food in other way, yeah, you don't have that food noise in your head still, or you are making decisions, yeah, so not acting automatically, for example, yeah, and that's also results, yeah, and some people don't see that, yeah.
I think, yes, the results, I can give you an example from my life. Yes, when I started going to the gym, I was even more depressed in the beginning, because you suddenly find yourself in the environment of people who look pretty well. I look like a bully snowman, not bully as a bully in the English word as taki łobuz, tak, który innych bije, but a bully, like Bully the Snowman. Bully, zostań razem z nami.
Yes.
So I was depressed, and I wanted to see some results, and it was an enormous amount of work to process in my head, to explain to myself that now you are starting a boring journey in some way, because there is no magic pill to look better, apart from unhealthy. They sometimes do some horrible steroid things or whatever they do, I don't know. But the normal path to looking better is a long journey of everyday dietary and exercise choices.
Yeah, that is. And we are just in the beginning, yeah, so it's not very exciting, yeah, but it's something that really works.
And you start seeing the reward, because the looking better is some kind of a reward in some way. But you mentioned the changes in the way we think about food, our connection with food, with exercise, etc. This kind of relationship. But another type of reward which kept me going was the level of my energy. And it happened overnight. There is this joke when someone says, I've seen it many times on Facebook, someone says, oh, I don't go to the gym because I don't have any energy. And this other guy says, you need to go to the gym to get this energy. Yes. So you have to completely turn it around your head and start this new habit to see that the better diet and better lifestyle will give you tons of energy you've never had before.
Yes, and I say the same quote usually to my clients. Yeah, you will have energy after exercise. Yeah, and exercise is not like you will feel like, okay, I need to go to the gym. It's rather decision again. Yeah, our decision that, okay, I will go to exercise because I know that after that exercise I will feel better. I will have more energy. I know that it's good for my health, for example. And this is all about it.
Yes.
Finding also that advantages of exercise, of healthy eating also.
Exactly. And when you combine it, it's like a bomb, entering your life, but in a positive way, that everything you have a chance to rebuild everything with new source of energy which you never even thought. Like when I talk to people about my life now, and I'm in 4 years I will be 50, I swear to you, Aneta, I have more energy than when I was 17, and I don't have those moments when I'm exhausted during the day. I don't have any more sugar, high sugar spikes which make you tired. Honestly, I can recommend it to anyone in the world to start the healthy habits, yes, around eating. But one more question before we finish, if you don't mind, of course.
Of course.
I wanted to ask you about a controversial topic. We've mentioned Big Mac, and every now and then it's not a problem if you have a little bit of saturated fats, and the most unhealthy bun in the world, like this hamburger bun or whatever it's called. But what about people who start a revolution in their life with some very controversial types of food? For example, today I think the internet is flooded by the information that this kind of diet where you eat a lot of fried bacon for breakfast, and with an enormous amount of saturated fats, very often slightly burned, which creates a lot of toxic ingredients in the fat, and the fact that it is already ultra processed meat. And these people, flood the internet with the testimony that now I have this new energy, now I feel great. And these doctors on Facebook are saying that this is the best way to keep going. And my my blood test results are confirming that everything is better. So what would you say about that? What about the controversial diet where you eat half a kilo of bacon every day?
That's a huge topic.
No, okay, 200 grams.
But generally, what I would say that, again, we as a people will look for some magical, solutions, and that is kind of that magical solution. Yeah. We want to have not that boring healthy diet. And what's else, that usually when people start to eat that bacon or some and saturated foods, they also stop eating some other ultra processed food, for example. Like I don't know, like some bread which is not very healthy. Generally bread is okay, but some toast bread with white flour and stuff like that. So sometimes, of course, they can have better results, healthy results, but it's not very often because of eating bacon, but despite of that.
Okay.
And also what I want to say, I'm not a big fan of keto diet. But if there is somebody who wants to in that way, you can eat only saturated fats, but some unsaturated. So it's not good to eat only bacon. But if you want to eat salmon, avocado, some nuts, it could be okay if it fits you and you can eat in that way for the next 20 years, for example. Yeah, for me, it's not a good dietary pattern. Yeah, and I think for most of my clients also, it's not the best one. Yeah, but when you want to eat that, very low carb, for example, diet, it's better to find other source of that fats. Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say? Because I want to base this on a real example from just a couple of weeks ago. I have a friend on Facebook who has been putting quite a few photos of, dead pigs on his Facebook, and there is very often a lot of bacon there. And he shared his blood test results. I analyzed these results. I never mentioned it to him, but I did. And I found a lot of other types of tests he should be doing to see if the saturated fats are not damaging his veins, etc. But what would you say to a person who comes to you with some blood test results and says, I've been on this diet for 3 years. Every morning I have 3 eggs with fried bacon, and it's like, let's say 100 grams of bacon, for example. Well, how would you, because it's very hard we cannot convince these people to change the diet. It's not even probably what we should be doing, or you as a psychodietitian. But how would you, plant this little seed of hesitation in that person that maybe in 20 years you might end up with a heart attack? Because, I'm just going to say it, you will probably end up with a heart attack. That's what happened to my dad. Because my dad was on Kwaśniewski diet. It was praised by many people at that time.
Yes.
But unfortunately, the huge amount of saturated fats did its job. And it led to very bad results after many years. So what would you say?
That's a very difficult thing. It's very important what you've just mentioned. So see that short-term perspective, that okay, now it may be okay, but we don't know how it will look in long-term perspective. And research show us that it's not the best eating pattern. So I try to be evidence-based, but I know for people like this, it's not the explanation. It's not like I can convince somebody to change his mind because of I'm telling about something like that. Usually I try to do this very softly. So I'm asking, okay, can I tell you something more about my perspective? So it's not aggressive, like, oh no, you are doing bad. I will tell you. I will
save you.
What's the best for you? No, because it doesn't work. It's rather, okay, are you ready to maybe hear something else, some other perspective? And we just start to talk. And I think that's the best way. So doing it also step by step.
Aneta, this is an amazing moment for me now, because when I was talking about bacon to you, you replied to me just a few seconds ago with the word softly. And then when I was telling you the story about my bacon friend, I had the song in my head, Killing Me Softly. And it's because I think some types of magical diets are just killing us softly. They are doing it extremely gently and slowly without any signs for many, many years. And that's why I asked you this question, because if someone tells a person like this in 20 years that, maybe bacon is not the best choice, it might be too late to reverse it. So I'm asking it. I many years ago I unlearned to stick my nose into other people's lives, and I don't give unwanted advice. But in moments like that, I feel that I have some kind of social responsibility to say, or friendly responsibility to say to this person, you know, I'm worried about you. But bracia rodzeń or whoever tells people to eat so much bacon are so strong, they have so much power because of being influencers and finding the shortcut to making your life better, that millions of people are watching the magical diets or the magical ways of getting healthier, and what, 1,000 people will watch your reel because you are not giving this magical pill.
Of course, I'm not. And for example, bracia you've mentioned, they tell that don't go to psychotherapy, just stop eating carbs. Yeah?
I know.
It will cure you.
Oh, Jesus.
And how you can discuss with that? Of course you can. And there are a lot of, Instagram people who do this, who try to discuss with them. But it's very difficult.
Yes, I think generally diet is a very intimate topic. People are connected with the way they eat, or they have passion for the type of food. Like me and frankfurters or some kind of sausages in England. It's all sausage. If it's parówka or kiełbasa, doesn't matter. They have sausage. And I ate this, questionably healthy food for years and years every morning. And every time someone told me, Staś, you are preparing some very difficult years for yourself in the future. I was like, just fuck off, and let me live my life. And I love my sausage, and leave me alone.
Yeah, and you needed your own trigger. To change this.
Yeah. Thank you, Eva and Bogdan. That's my parents who had to die to save me. Like, what can you do? Sometimes it's that. So, how are you feeling after this? Probably more than an hour. I don't even know. Yes, exactly 1 hour. It's always like this without even checking. But we were stressed both before this, before we began. How are you feeling now?
Yeah, now I feel better. Yeah, better.
That's good. And how about your English? Do you feel a little bit more, I don't know, I've done it?
Yes, but I don't think it was perfect English, but still maybe good enough.
Yeah. Very good. Perfect wouldn't go on YouTube podcast. Because it's because it's supposed to be imperfect. And, I heard my own mistakes during this podcast, which always makes me so annoyed, because during the podcast and just before, my mind goes completely blank. I even forgot how to say saturated fats 5 minutes before our podcast, and I had to check it, like in my notes, like I had some kind of stroke,
That this is all because of stress.
Yes, and stress is okay, and it's about dealing with it and doing things despite of it. And I want to thank you for coming here today and for having this amazing chat.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure.
For me too, and congratulations for your bravery.
Oh yeah.
For your courage. And I hope to see you again. And you will always be, Aneta, the third person of the Trinity of the Imperfect Podcast, because so you are the Holy Spirit in this. First we had Marzena Jankowska, then Magda Hibner, and now you. And it will never change. The Trinity has been closed officially. And thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Okay, let's turn it off.